y'all doing? This is a rendition of Game Fuzz. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and this is a time when I got stabbed in the county jail. I go to county jail for a serious case, homicide case, when I was 18, and it's about my second or third time in jail. First time I got caught up with some yay, and kind of got out that situation. And this like my second time in jail, and but it's for a serious case. I go for a homicide case. Me and my cousin. And so we up in there. When they first put us in jail, we go to, they have certain areas for, the serious offenders, the murderers and shit in our county jail on the third floor. So we go to this little area called Civils. And it's like a it's three cells, three two-man cells. And my partner's in one of them. He's in there fighting him a serious case. And he's fighting life, and me and my cousin in there, we're fighting life. And so he give us the rules and shit like this, and teach us how to make some shanks and shit like that. Give us the rules in the jail and all that old type shit. And we make us some shanks, just settle in. And they had these phones that we were using that they came on wheels. They rolled them in, they plugged them in the wall, outside of the cell. The cells inside a little room or something, and some other bars. It was a crazy situation. There's bars on top of bars, and old county jail, and they rolled the phones in on wheels, and so we all had 15 increments on the phone, in 15-minute increments on the phone and shit. And so I wasn't using mine, my cousin was using his. And so the Mexican trustee, he comes in and he says, "Hey man, the phone's got to go to X's now. We're not finished using our time. We got about 10 minutes left." I say, "Hey man, we got about 10 minutes left, man. You know what I'm saying? We still got some time." He said, "Man, the phone got to go to X's." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck about no X's." Now, we didn't know about X's. X's was a dorm up in the county jail, that was like for real serious murders, like serial killers, all this old shit. I think Richard Ramirez rolled through there, and they had this one cat called a Silk Killer. I think he was in there while we was in there.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Let me finish the story. But anyway, we up in this thing, and so these motherfuckers want to go to X's and shit, want to take the phone to X's, like fuck X's and all this old shit. And he's like, "Man, the phone got to go to X's now. This Mexican trustee is really trying to take the phone." And we ready to, if you come grab this phone, nigga, we gonna pull you through this bars and give you this business. We had some shanks up in that motherfucker. You come touch that phone, arm's reach, we grab your ass, we'll stab your ass, anything, cut you with a razor blade, do anything, So don't come touching this phone. He's like, "All right," you know what I'm saying? So he left out. Then he comes back in later. He said, "Man, I gotta tell you one more time, X's want the phone, man." And I went, "Fuck X's and shit like that," right? Because we didn't know about what was going on in X's and shit. We probably would have let the phone go, but when we first went to jail, we vowed to, if anybody violated us in any kind of way, any kind of cross us in any kind of way, we at your wig. That's just period, point blank. We at your dome. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't playing none of that shit. And so, we probably wouldn't have let the phone go to X's anyway. We just gonna ride it out. That's how we playing. It's mob shit, And dude said like, X's want the phone. We're like, "Fuck X's," and he's like, "Okay." Like when he said that shit, he's like, we kind of got nervous. It just sounded hella serious and shit when he left out. Like, we talked to him, I'm saying, my boy, next to us and shit. Like, "Man, what the fuck that mean?" He's like, "Man, just get ready to go to the yard, man." And so, we had some shanks in our butts and shit, in the butt cheeks. We went to the yard, shanked up and shit, and ready to get busy and shit, but the shit didn't come. The heat didn't come. The yard in the old county jail was the roof. You had to go up to the roof and shit. They release only one arm and shit. Because you're shackled from your waist and, to your feet. So they release one arm. You might can play some little bit of basketball or something like that, but we was posted up and, trying to get to them knives real quick if we had to. But the shit didn't come. You know what I'm saying? And so we go back in the cell, the shit didn't come. Like a week or two later, they moved us over to another area in the county jail. You know what I'm saying? It was for serious offenders and shit. And the murders over here was, someone was likely to get a good deal. You know, everybody was facing life. Don't get me wrong. There was some serious shit. Some people did get life. But, you know, it was more of a watered down serious offender dorm area, you know what I'm saying, if you will, you know what I'm saying, in the county jail, you know what I'm saying. It was like 10 two-man cells and shit, you know, 10, 15 two-man cells and shit, and up in this tier and shit. TVs was outside the cell and shit like that. But anyway, they moved us to this area and shit like that. And so we noticed it's kind of cool. It's a cool area. Everybody's cool. Everybody's getting along. They moved my boy to this area and shit. So we got a couple of partners over here in this area. So we chilling and shit. You know what I'm saying? And everybody waiting, fighting their case and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? And then they moved this motherfucker, serious motherfucker named Jesse over here from X's over in this thing. And it gets serious. Like, why they move this motherfucker over here? He really had no reason over here. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just like weird. You know what I'm saying? So the dorm kind of got weird. Our little area got kind of like quiet because they moved this motherfucker over. This motherfucker done stabbed police and shit, all kind of shit, right? Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? This was a serious motherfucker, and he had tattoos all on his face, you know what I'm saying? The Pompadour, the Fu Manchu, and he just looked at scary and serious. And tattoos on the face back in the day to us was like serious and shit, if motherfuckers wasn't having tattoos on their face. Motherfucker tattoos on their face back then, you better watch out for them motherfuckers. And he was one of those motherfuckers. He already allegedly done killed a few bitches and some shit, and you know what I'm saying. Oh, you know, everybody was scared of Jesse. You know what I'm saying, up in the county jail back then. You know what I'm saying. This was about like '88. You know what I'm saying. And 87, '88, or somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying. '89, around them times and shit. And so everybody gets scared, right? So we kind of forgot about we forgot about that shit. You know what I'm saying, a little bit. You know what I'm saying. And so, you know what I'm saying, move Jesse over there. We ain't tripping. So the next day we got to go to court. You know what I'm saying? And when you go to court, you know what I'm saying, they supposed to frisk you down, make sure you ain't got nothing in your pocket. So you got these jumpsuit on. If you ever seen the jail jumpsuit, they got a little pocket up area right there. You ain't supposed to have nothing in your pocket. Everything's supposed to be in your hands. It's supposed to make sure you ain't got nothing with you going to court and shit. And so you know what I'm saying? And they got this one jailer named Porky. You know what I'm saying? This one little CO jailer motherfucker named Porky, little guard. This motherfucker, we called him Porky. He looked like Porky Pig. He hated us call him Porky. He'd do something to you, call him Porky in his face and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was an asshole, man. And you know what I'm saying? And last name Lee. If y'all remember Porky, that motherfucker, fat motherfucker used to he was a menace. You know what I'm saying? Up there in the county jail when we was up in there. You know what I'm saying? And he hated me and my cousin for whatever reason. He hated us, man. But anyway, so Porky made sure our shackles were tight, you know what I'm saying? And we usually have to, you know, when they tighten our shackles around our waist, we hold our stomach out, you know what I'm saying, real far as much as we can, you know what I'm saying, and try to, when they done, you know what I'm saying, we can suck our stomachs back in and slip our shackles when we get down to the holding cell to have our hands down in front instead of on the side of us, so, you know, give us room to defend ourselves and shit if we had to and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because with your hands down to your waist, your feet shackled, man, it can be rough up in that motherfucking county jail if you can't get them shackles slipped off and shit. You can be rough in that holding cell downstairs. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember when they got to Jesse, Porky made sure his shit was loose and all this shit, and he had some shit in your pocket. You ain't supposed to have shit in your pocket. Like, we noticed this shit, but you know, we ain't know what the fuck was going on and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we watching this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So they take us down in the tunnel, you know what I'm saying, in the dungeon, in the old county jail, and that's where it was, a little tunnel area and shit. And they had the general pop side, and they had the side where they had kept the serious offender side, you know what I'm saying, the murderer side. And shit, it was a little smaller than the general pop side, you know what I'm saying, a little area you set before you go to the court in the tunnel and shit. And there's benches on both sides and shit in this little small area and shit. So they had Jesse and this other motherfucker, and I think this was the typical killer. It's not 100% sure. And they were just talking about how many bitches they done killed. Like, the first bitch is always the easiest. And they were just talking about some crazy shit over there. And we was on this other side, me, this one cat, you know what I'm saying, and his partner, and this one cat named Chaz. And he had a white partner and this other brother, and it's me and my cousin and shit like that. So Jesse goes in, he goes in to pick out his comb, get his comb out, and he combs his little pompadour hair, and he goes slow motion. We checking him out. I got my eyes on this cat, right? We kind of nervous of these cats because they talking about some serious shit, and all of us, we kind of like did I said didn't mean to do it type shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And so and these motherfuckers, the life is probably the best these cats gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Life without is probably the best because both of these motherfuckers probably fighting the gas on the other side talking this shit, right? Uh, so he combs his hair real slow and then he puts the comb back in his pocket, his top pocket, right? And so I'm watching this motherfucking shit and he goes back in his top pocket, bam, he comes out with this curled up motherfucking nail looking thing, right? And he opens that motherfucking, it's a long ass motherfucking nail and it's just a shank. It's a shank with some shit around it, you know what I'm saying, to hold it in, and it's a nail, you know what I'm saying? Look like it's a nail. And he opens that motherfucker and jumps up and starts giving it to us. Yeah, and he's at us, wow. And so he hits me in the chest and the shank comes out under my underarm, bam. You know what I'm saying? We on the floor flopping around, kicking like fish. I think he hit my cousin in his leg, hit Chaz in the mouth. I forgot we hit the white boy, but the other brother, I don't think he was just up in the corner and shit, just shocked like a motherfucker. This Mexican is going in on us, man. But what saved us is the shank hit the bench. And went later on, I went back to the county jail, seen them little marks in the bench because it hit the bench a couple of times because he was missing us because we got kicking his ass and flipping around like fish. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Just it was funny now, but you know what I'm saying? But shit, that shit wasn't funny then, boy. We flopping around like fish up in that motherfucker, yelling, man down, and shit. And so, you know what I'm saying? It hits the bench and curls back up into that little curl it was in when he took it out of his pocket and shit. And he's still trying to hit it with it, but it ain't touching on nothing. You know what I'm saying? We him, but at that time the jailer was in. They snatched the motherfucker up, man, and shit, man, and saved our motherfucking life. You know what I'm saying? And man. Damn, man. Go to yeah, we got stabbed up in that motherfucker pretty nice, man. And I think Jesse got the gas, and I think somebody sent me an article or something. I think they gave him they already gassed him out, and shit, just about like 35 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But man, God bless the brother, man. I don't know, man. It was just wild back then, man. That's the time I got stabbed in the county jail, man. Serious shit. About my motherfucking heart. Rock big.